Have you ever thought about how one special talent could change your life?
Today we will chat about a man named Ted Williams. Something really special about him changed his life a huge way. Come join us and we discover this awesome story about life's surprising adventures.
Hey everybody, CrossTalk is an English and Japanese bilingual freestyle podcast. In this podcast, we explore some cross-cultural themes and trends. My name is Andrea.
Hi, I'm Tomoya.
Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so we're going to talk about Ted Williams.
Who is that person? You know him?
I don't really know about him very much. Can you tell us about him?
Sure. So before we dive into the story, I want to ask something to Andrea-san.
Okay.
Do you think you have a special, unique talent?
A unique talent? No, not really. I think among the foreign community here where we are, we're in Okayama Prefecture. Among the Okayama community, I think before, not many foreign people spoke Japanese. And so I tried to be unique in that way, to be kind of a bridge or something to fill a gap between the Japanese information and the foreign community. But nowadays, a lot of people speak Japanese, and some people speak better than I do. So I don't really think my talent is unique. It used to be unique a little bit, but recently it's not so unique. So I'm kind of sad about that, but happy also.
今回はそんな、そのユニークな才能を持っている、アメリカ人の、ちょっとおじさんなんですけども、ちょっとその人について、その人のストーリーについてちょっと紹介していきたいなと思います。ぜひ聞いてみてください。This is very an interesting story, so I'd like to share with you guys.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, there's a man named Ted Williams. So Ted was a homeless guy, used to live in a street.
Okay.
In the early 1980s, he was a late-night radio disc jockey on a radio station. He was fired in 1994 with the reason of alcoholism and drug abuse.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because I feel like around the 1980s and 90s, a lot of American companies started to get really strict about drug use and alcohol use.
Yes.
So probably he was a victim of that, the new rules, the new policies.
I see. In January 2011, a reporter from a local newspaper saw Ted on the street, and he was amazed by his golden voice.
Okay, so he had been homeless for a long time then. Since when did you say he got fired? Like in
1994.
Okay, so he was homeless for more than 10 years? Over 10 years?
Yes.
And actually, yeah, quite a long time. And then he got kind of rediscovered? Rediscovered, okay.
By chance.
Okay.
And the reporter made a video of Ted speaking and posted it on the internet.
Okay.
We're gonna watch the video that changed his life.
Okay, so this is a short clip of Ted Williams.
Yes.
And his voice.
Yes.
Okay.
Voice. When you're listening to nothing but the best of oldies, you're listening to Magic 98.9. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. And we'll be back with more right after these words. And don't forget, tomorrow morning is your chance to win a pair of tickets to see this man live in concert. Thank you so much.
Wow, he does have a nice voice.
He does.
But I feel like because he's a homeless gentleman, he's got long hair and he looks a bit rough around the edges, but there's a huge gap between like the way he looks and his voice. He's got a really smooth, really nice voice.
It is. ちょっとびっくりするよね、これ。
Yeah.
急に聞いたら。
Yeah.
So this video was shared and viewed by millions of people around the world, and many people thought, I want to help him. I want to help Ted.
Okay.
And he received many job offers, like working in a radio and voiceover work. So he's no longer homeless.
That's great news. That's really good to know. I feel like this is a classic American like rags to riches story. So we have this rags to riches, meaning like you're poor or you came from nothing. You work hard, you use your talent, and you become successful. It's that kind of story. Yeah.
It is. So how did you feel about his voice in the video?
I think he's got a fabulous voice. Obviously, he has a naturally deep voice, but obviously also he's worked hard and he has probably trained and probably taken voice lessons or enunciation lessons, announcing lessons.
そうね。最初に言ったようにちょっと彼は仕事を実際に DJ っていうかラジオジョッキー、ラジオのパーソナリティでやってたんですよね。でもその後いろいろ many things happened to his life. You know, like as I said, drug abuse, alcohol, and yada yada yada.
Yada yada. Yeah.
いろんな
etc.
いろんなことがあってでようやく見つけられたっていうか。
Okay.
すごいですよね。
Yeah, I feel like also you have to kind of know, like back in the 80s and 90s when I was a youngster, you were probably not even born yet or you were just a child. Radio disc jockeys were kind of celebrities in America.
Oh, okay.
So people would, I mean, this is, well before we had CDs and before we had digital music and before we had internet. So most people listened to the radio to get music. And so the personalities of the radio DJs were very big, like that, kind of over the top. And they had a lot of followers. Like, you find your favorite DJ personality and you listen to their show every week or every day or whatever. So I can see like he was probably kind of famous in his area when he was working.
I see. So your story reminds me of Alex Bloomberg is currently the co-owner of the Gimlet company, which is the podcast production company.
Right. I listen to some podcasts on Gimlet, but I don't know Alex Bloomberg.
Yeah, he is the co-founder of this company. And his career started This American Life.
Oh, okay. I listen to that podcast sometimes.
Is this podcast?
I think it's a podcast now, but it used to be a radio show.
ですよね。
And they've just like reissued the radio shows as podcasts, but actually it's just a radio show. And I remember being like a teenager and my mom would listen to that in the car and I thought it was so boring. I'm like, why does my mom like this? This show is weird and boring, but it's funny because I listen to it now. So he was on that show?
He was on that main personality.
Really? Okay,
Yes.
He doesn't look that old.
Maybe he's a little bit older now because this photo you are seeing now it's
kind of old.
It's old.
Okay.
But anyway, ちょっと話がそれましたけど、so the radio personality was the kind of phenomenon back in your era.
Yeah, back in my era, because I'm much older than Tomoya. I'm a dinosaur.
Fossil.
I'm a fossil.
化石ね。
Thanks.
まあでも
Thanks. I get him later. Yeah, he'd be in trouble later.
まあでもラジオって僕の時代も結構流行ったことがありました。僕の周りでね。周りといってもその一部の友達の間でやっぱりその夜の深夜ラジオっていうのが流行ったんですよ。
Okay.
結構僕もたまにですけど聞いてて。やっぱまあでもそれで今でもポッドキャストとかねずっといろんな番組聞いてるけど、いいですよねラジオ。
I think like back in the day it was much better because we didn't have anything else. We didn't have CDs. We didn't have internet. We didn't have digital music, and so the programs were actually really good.
What was the favorite program you often listened to?
Well, I was a teenager and I liked music. So my favorite radio DJ came on Sundays. It was all day, like all afternoon Sundays. It was the top 100 songs for that week. And it was hosted by a DJ named Casey Kasem.
Oh, you remember
I do.
the personality name?
I do. His name was Casey Kasem. And they would start at 100 and they would play each song in its entirety every week. And so if you had a favorite song, you would like, what number is my favorite song this week, right? And everyone would listen, like, did your song go up or down? Or like, what new music came out that week? That's how you know what new songs were out.
僕の友達 one of my friend sent a request to the radio station. なんかそういうプログラムっていうかなかったですか？
Yeah. You can call in and request, or you could. I don't think fax was such a thing in America, but yeah, you could call in and request a song.
アメリカでは実際に電話をする時もあるわけ。
Yes. Or like they would have contests, and you could call in and join the contest, but you could never get through because it was, one line, and the lucky person got on, and then everyone else,
right?
Yeah, kind of couldn't get through.
I see.
Yep, we would call in. I never got in.
僕だからそういう僕ら日本の多分深夜番組だったからっていうのもあると思うけど、お手紙でねリクエストするとかあったけどね。
Okay.
まあ今でもあると思うけど。
I think I have heard that on Japanese radio. Yeah.
そうまあ anyway そういう風な、ディスクジョッキーラディオパーソナリティでね流行った時期というか今もあるけどね、まあで今はもうポッドキャストみたいにね誰でもできるみたいな。
Yeah, and I think back then like the disc jockeys were like more, even locally they were more like celebrities.
なるほど I see. So I thought that this guy Alex Bloomberg was actually probably used to be he was
on the radio program and then he moved into podcasting. Okay.
Probably he was a popular person in that area, I guess.
I'm gonna check it out because I don't listen to This American Life very often because it is a weird show. It's not my favorite podcast, but I'll listen and see if I can find him.
So we have talked many other things, but go back to the original topic. So do you think every person has a special talent, or are talents only selected a few?
Wow, that's a hard question. I do believe that everyone does have a special talent. Actually, yes. But whether it's unique, is it a unique talent? Maybe not so much. But everyone has a talent or a skill, for sure.
Right. It's kind of like how you develop your uniqueness, right? Sometimes.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like unique. I mean, there are other radio DJs with nice voices, for example. But how can you get to the level where you're successful is the question.
Right. そうね。まあ結構ユニークって言ってもその見る側聞く側からしたらいろんなこう見方があるから。
Right.
その答えは一つじゃないよね。
Right, exactly. Right.
でも日本で言うとその例えばラジオのこうよく聞く声っていうのは多分今というか僕の勝手な思い込みかもしれないけどやっぱりまあちょっと高い声みたいな。
Like the tone, you mean?
The tone of the voice.
I think that's easier for people to hear. So yeah, probably. Deeper voices are more relaxing, but they're harder to catch. They're harder to hear.
Right. Yeah. So this guy, the Ted Williams, he has a lower,
a really deep voice. A really deep voice.
So was it really hard to catch his voice for you?
No, not for me. But I think also like Americans tend to prefer deeper voices, especially for men. And then Japanese, I notice, really like high voices. It's actually, it hurts my ears sometimes. It's so high. There's a cultural difference there too.
Right.
Yeah.
僕の声は多分ちょっと低めの声だから なかなかこう聞き取りづらいっていう人もねもしかしたらいるかもしれないけど。
It depends. When you're talking like this, normally your voice is low, but when you're goofing around and being silly, you can do a high voice, and that's irritating.
たまにするね。あとその日の調子によっても多少やっぱ違う。
Yeah, yeah.
多少違うけど。
Yeah, I think as a woman, my voice is quite low too.
We talked about this unique story a lot today. So shall we finish up today?
Sure. We'd like to know from you guys, what do you think? Can you think of anyone who has a special talent, who had a problem and then was able to recover or given a second chance? If you know of anyone, let us know in the comments. All right, guys, that's all for this episode. If you like our podcast, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening now. Also, be sure to comment and give us a review.
And if you are tuning in through the podcast, check out our YouTube channel.
This is CrossTalk, signing off, bringing you English your way every week.
Keep listening and keep shining. Bye.
Bye.